Now, the human mind steps aside, giving way to new realms and reality alternatives. Welcome to the Alt Series.
Welcome. As you heard, we're here for the Alt Series, number 6. We're getting ready for the Shoud, for the actual channeling of Jeffrey. He's here getting ready for us, and we're going to be here too, supporting him. So with that, I reach out to all of us and remind us, let's start with the deep and conscious breath. Take that deep and conscious breath, really breathing into you, letting the energies flow. Take the good deep breath. Breathe with presence. Feel it. Open up to it and allow it. Take that good deep breath. Adamus is here. As always, breathe him in. Breathe him in. He's here with every breath. Take that good deep breath, opening to the highest potentials for this special Shoud channel. Breathe and flow. Breathe for you.
Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door. Feels like a knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door. Mama, tell me, knocking on heaven's door. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Whoa, knocking on heaven's door. Whoa, knocking on heaven's door. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door.
I am that I am. Adamus of Saint Germain. Welcome, Shaumbra. Welcome to the Shoud. Shoud number 6 of the Alt Series, the Shoud before Heaven's Cross. Let's take a deep breath together as we join with the energies of Shaumbra from all across the planet. Take a good deep breath and feel everyone join in together for this sacred event. The Shoud will be a little bit different. We're going to be doing quite a long mirab here in preparation for Heaven's Cross, and I ask each and every one of you to get comfortable. To get comfortable. Let all the outside distractions go. Find that place within yourself, that sweet, sacred, and safe space within yourself as we begin this shout. We're putting on the music soon and going into a fairly long experience, all in preparation for Heaven's Cross on this beautiful day. 18 days away we are. 18 days from the apocalypse, Heaven's Cross. Take a moment to reflect on the journey in this lifetime to get there. And the journey of all the lifetimes. Here we are. It seems almost overwhelming, unbelievable, surreal. At times you feel you just have to pinch yourself wondering, is this real? That's where you feel into what Metatron said so very long ago. Is it real? Is it real? Absolutely, if you allow it. To many others, it won't feel real. They won't even notice anything is happening. The world would just be another day for them, another day after that, another day after that. But for those who are ready, the energies of Heaven's Cross are here. They are ready. I've invited many special guests in today. Of course, we have Tobias and Kuthumi. So many of the others who have been here in front of you over the years, been guests in the times of Tobias. I haven't had so many guests because I like having you all to myself. But today I invite in all the ones who have been here in the past. Cryon, Yeshua, all the ones who have come in to address Shaumbra and the Crimson Circle. I've also asked all those members of the Crimson Council who have been working closely with humans on Earth, who have been here helping to prepare the energies to be here today, because in 18 days they'll be leaving during a procession in honor of you at Heaven's Cross. So the room is filled. It's filled with you. It's filled with the Crimson Council. It's filled with the ones who have been here before, all knowing that this time has come. Here we are, ready to go. In this lifetime, so many of you have taken a path that has been paved by yourself, by others. So many of you coming in, really starting even with the times of Blavatsky, the New Thought movement back in the 1800s, paving the way for what we have here. Her work was so much more than even what she wrote about. The work of theosophy, the work of new thought, new energy, preparing for this very day. And then so many of you are familiar with the works of Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce broke a lot of ground at the time, particularly when it wasn't so accepted to have mystics and psychics and readings. Edgar Cayce talked so much about Atlantis, so much about our past, talked about healing, talked about energies, and really helped pave the way for exactly what we're going to be doing in 18 days from now. And then so many of you familiar with Jane Roberts and the Seth work. Groundbreaking work at the time, groundbreaking, innovative, very direct. Seth, having been in human form, now channeled by Jane Roberts, not some grand celestial being, not some alien from some other planet, but one who had been in human form, now talking through Jane Roberts, once again paving the way for what's happening here. And then one of my favorites, dear friend of mine, Ramtha, hasn't been at more than just one Shaumbra gathering in the past as a guest of Tobias. Ramtha, here with us. Ramtha channeled through J.Z. Knight, and again, groundbreaking work. Humorous, sad, very, very strong. Ramtha, one of the early ones to come to his realization through the pain and through the suffering, but to bring a message to the planet, to humans, that it is possible, it can be done, and it can be done without all the suffering. Ramtha, outrageous, very human-like in so many ways, but yet an ascended human. And then the work of the Cryon. The Cryon. Cryon came here to prepare the energetic grids of the planet, the magnetic grids of the planet, and even into the other realms that were eventually going to be the very basis for the apocalypse, for Heaven's Cross. To adjust the magnetics to make it more possible eventually to release the gravity of emotions, the gravity of the physical earth, to make it possible for humans now to eventually to be able to traverse into the other realms. Cryon, channeled through Lee Carroll, also a guest in the past at these events. And then, of course, Tobias. Tobias was unique to the Crimson Circle. Tobias sent out the call across the planet in 1999. It's time to awaken, dear Shaumbra. It's time to come back together. It's time to fulfill the dream that we all had. Tobias brought together Shaumbra after thousands of years, after the times of Shaham-Barah in the lands of Israel, where you would wear the red scarves, the red shawls, to secretly indicate that it was time to have a gathering. That's what Tobias brought back, all those who were together back in those times under the banner of Shaumbra. And then, of course, when Tobias left, I came in, Adamus, a name that we made up. Adamus, part of Saint Germain. Saint Germain having been an important part of all of your pasts, whether it was in the mystery schools, whether it was in the books that you read, but this name Adamus was created to be Shaumbra, to reflect back to Shaumbra. Now, as you know, Saint Germain, he wouldn't have the antics of Adamus, but those antics, that style, that provocative style was brought in through Adamus to reflect back to you. Hopefully with humor, hopefully with tremendous wisdom, great insights, provocations, poking and prodding you all the time, trying to get you prepared for exactly what we're doing now. Along the way, many left Crimson Circle. It was simply, you could say, too intense. They weren't ready for it. They were still working through issues on many different levels and weren't quite prepared to let go of those things. And oftentimes I would have these talks with Caldra and Linda, and they'd say, but Adamus, you're running everybody off right now. Well, that was part of the intent, because we didn't want to carry that energy with us going into what we're doing now. They'll come back sooner or later, whether it's through Crimson Circle or some other group. They'll come back because they're going to be ready sooner than later for their own realization and ultimately staying on earth as embodied masters. But it's been quite a past that's led us to right here. On the eve of Heaven's Cross, on the eve of, I'll say it out loud, the apocalypse. This is it. And I know for Caldra, for many of you, it's caused some doubts, consternation, questioning. Are we really here? Are we making this up? Is it real? I'll go back to what Metatron said. It's real if you allow it to be. It's real for you personally. You can stand at the door, you can hesitate, you can hold back, you can keep wondering, is it real? Am I just making this up? Are we really ready for it yet? Is the planet ready for it? And the answer to that question is already within you. It's up to you. It is real if you allow it to be. So here we are at this unprecedented time. Here we are at the culmination of lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of work that you and others have done. Here we are at Heaven's Cross, at the apocalypse. Let's take a deep breath with that as we continue to prepare our energies. A lot of you are asking, what happens after March 22nd? You're wondering if you're going to read some big news on the internet, in the papers. You're wondering if there's going to be some sort of world catastrophe, world shakeup. There might be, but it's not really the point, is it? The point is what happens within you on March 22nd and beyond. Imagine for a moment you're living your everyday life, your linear life. You're going along as you have been in many ways, day after day, week after week. It's pretty much the same. You have your hopes and aspirations. You have your frustrations, your insecurities. You have your wondering, when are things ever going to change in a big way? When are they going to change? But also when you contemplate that, when are things going to change? And then at the same moment you pucker up and you worry about things changing too fast, too big. It's kind of an interesting irony in that. You're going along day to day, working on yourself, trying to change your thoughts, trying to change your patterns, and you notice progress. So some days big progress, other days you feel like you're almost going backwards, although you never really do. But you're going along, and so much of you wondering, when does it really change? When do the skies open up? When does something big happen in my life? You think that often at times I'm just tired of going on like this. I'm tired of working so hard at it. I'm tired of feeling like I'm struggling, going uphill with a huge burden on my shoulders, and I just can't seem to make the headway. That's how life is for so many. Now, yes, there's times of joy, there's times of laughter, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the wondering when something happens, when it will ever really change, and wondering sometimes if you're just being left behind, wondering if all the others are making huge changes and you're just left behind. You're not at all. You're at the perfect place at the perfect time. I don't want to have to go into a lot of logic or reasoning on why. You come to discover it. You're at the perfect place at the perfect time. You're here right now, right before the apocalypse. Now imagine with Heaven's Cross, the opening, imagine you're leading this relatively linear life day after day. Wonderful days, of course, but sometimes the struggles, but it goes on day after day, this linear life. Kind of like walking through a path in the forest, and the path continues and continues and continues. And then suddenly something happens, and this something is Heaven's Cross. Something happens. And it's not on the outside, really. It's on the inside. You see, Heaven's Cross is really an internal thing, not external. We talk about it opening the heavens, but it opens the realms within you. So suddenly, with the advent of Heaven's Cross, instead of a linear path, instead of the same old day after day, suddenly you realize there's a parallel path. A parallel path. It's like walking through the forest and having to glance over and seeing there's a path just through the trees, just slightly up above, running parallel. But it almost appears to be an easier path, a smoother path, not the ups and downs and not the boulders and the fallen trees in the path and not the animal droppings. That path seems to be an easier path. And you could feel into it, and as you gaze up on this other path, just through the trees, just up above, you see yourself walking on that path. And then in the next moment, it all seems to change, and suddenly you're on the upper path, and you're watching yourself on that old linear day-to-day path that just appears to be much harder, much more challenging. You're watching and observing yourself. And then simultaneously they come together and you feel you're on both paths. You're still in your day-to-day life. You're still going to the grocery store. You're still on the internet. You're still talking to other people. But you're also simultaneously on this higher path, an easier path. There's more sunlight. There's more fresh air. It seems to be much more cleared and easier going for you. It seems to be more inviting, warmer, happier, less struggle and stress. And as you're feeling into all this, these parallel paths that are existing, one the easy way, one the same old way. And you look around you and you realize there's yet another path up above and another path beyond that and another path. And pretty soon you see yourself on all of these paths. And some transcend even being a path. Suddenly there's no path at all. Suddenly it's like you're floating in another realm, a non-physical realm. And beyond that, there never was a path to begin with. And you just seem to have always been whole, always been fulfilled. And that's what Heaven's Cross is like. On March 22nd, it opens the realms. We come to the time of the apocalypse, and suddenly no longer are you limited in your perspective of yourself as just a human walking on the planet, trying to get through each and every day, having joy, having happiness on some days, but other days almost unbearable. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Suddenly you become very open to realizing the many, many paths that you're on, that you've always been on. It was just up until the apocalypse, it was closed off. It was like you couldn't see. You weren't even aware of all these other things going on. And what you become aware of are the other stories, the other parts of yourself, not scary, like some of you have had in dreams lately, not those scary things, not challenges that you have to overcome. So much of what you've been feeling lately in your dream state has been things from past lives bleeding through, but your mind doesn't know how to interpret it into the context of a past life, so it puts it into symbols of that it is familiar with in this lifetime. But suddenly you have this whole thing of knowingness. You don't have to think through like you used to. Yes, the human on the human path, on the day-to-day path, still does, but you realize that now you have access to these other pathways of yourself that don't require the thinking, that doesn't have the heavy burden on its shoulder. And suddenly you realize, even in your day-to-day, everyday human life, your linear life, that now a part of you is opening up. The part of the brain that has always been there, that now can access the other realms without the typical thinking and logic. That part has always been there, and now it opens up. It gives you an understanding of the other realms, the other parts of yourself. It gives you an understanding and a new connection with your soul. It opens up where you don't have to think through everything. You don't have to struggle with trying to comprehend or understand. It's just there. And this comes to the human on that linear path as well. With Heaven's Cross, with the apocalypse, suddenly you open up to so much more of yourself, this thing called divinity, your soul. Some of you call it your higher self. You open up to your light body. You open up to these many, many other paths of yourself, and they are together in harmony, not fighting each other, not holding each other back, but in harmony. And then suddenly, all these paths that you begin to perceive, they seem like they come together, no longer separated, no longer at a distance from each other, no longer being almost out of reach, but they're all right here. And this all comes with allowing. I've talked about allowing a lot. Some of you have become almost professional allowers. Some of you simply get tired of allowing all the time. But between now and Heaven's Cross, allowing is the greatest, or should I say the only tool you really have. It's not about thinking things through. It's not about trying to put them into nice, neat little boxes of logic and understanding. Between now and Heaven's Cross, it is about pure allowing, opening up. No more barriers, no more defenses, no more trying to protect parts of yourself by holding energies back, because what comes in now is not from the outside. What comes in now is the understanding and the perception of all these parts of yourself. These parts of yourself can be said to be your soul. And I talk about it at great length in some of the gatherings that we've had and some of your online classes. But your soul, what it is, where it is, why it is. And now time for that reunion with the soul. And it's nothing you perceive through the mind. It's nothing you can actually diagram out, nor should you even try. But you suddenly feel that connection with the thing that you call your soul. All of your stories from past lives, all of your stories that were generated from this lifetime, the experiences that sometimes continue to live on and on and on, they all come back home. No longer searching for answers, no longer in frustration. These stories, they continue out in the other realms, and not necessarily in the physical, and oftentimes they're just unanswered. They're frustrating and aggravating. They're aspects of yourself that are still out there playing through or fighting through experiences that you've had in the past. And suddenly this all comes back home in resolution, no longer having to go out and try to create an ending to the story or resolution to it. It becomes resolved. It becomes integrated. No longer fragments hanging out there in the other realms trying to find some sort of answers, but now the answer comes to you, and it's simply, I am. I exist. That's where you take a deep breath and you realize that all the work you've done, everything you've experienced in all of your lifetimes, comes together now at this time of the apocalypse. And it comes to you in the exact perfect way if you allow. If you allow. And I say that because some of you may have the tendency on March 23rd to wake up and say, where is it? What's happening? That's where you take a deep breath. You allow it because it comes to you at the perfect pacing for you. For you. There's nothing that you can do wrong with it other than worry about it and doubt it. Other than that, it comes at the perfect pace, at the perfect time, so as not to totally overwhelm you. It reveals itself and continues to reveal itself, all in perfect order for you. This is how you designed it, how you created it, and the best way to get there is to simply allow what comes next for you, which is all of you. There's a tendency to have a lot of thought and discussion about Heaven's Cross, a lot of philosophical discussions, a lot of even arguments back and forth, what it is, what you should do, how to prepare for it. It's as simple as allowing. That's it. Find time every day between now and then. I know Shumber is not very good at doing homework, so I'm not going to call this homework. I'm going to call it a requirement. Between now and then, find time every day to allow. Go by yourself somewhere where you don't have the distractions, where it's quiet, where you can be with yourself. Do some breathing and open yourself to what comes with Heaven's Cross. Without trying to think it through, without trying to analyze it, without trying to direct it or control it, there's nothing to control here. There's nothing that you have to direct. It is all about allowing, opening up to it. Each and every day between now and March 22nd, take that time by yourself to allow. That way you're putting yourself in a very energetically harmonic kind of a flow or a grace with everything that's about to come. You realize there's nothing to do in terms of having to perfect your human self, work on yourself. There's nothing to overcome. There's no prayers or rituals. There's nothing other than simply allowing. So that when we come to March 22nd, you're able to receive what comes. That's what you're doing, is you're preparing yourself to receive all that you are. It's that simple. Take the time, after all the hard work in this lifetime and other lifetimes, take the time now, between now and March 22nd, each day, for allowing. You can do it while you're walking. You can do it while you're sitting quietly somewhere or benching. You can do it even before you fall off to sleep at night, although you're probably going to fall off to sleep sooner than you would normally. But take that time to allow. And if you have these thoughts that come over you, am I doing this right? Or maybe I need to worry about what I'm allowing or anything like that, you just take a deep breath and allow even more. Open up so you will be prepared to receive all the gifts that come with the apocalypse. Now I'd like to do some preparation with each and every one of you for this March 22nd event. Let's put on some music, and I ask you to get very relaxed in whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Don't worry if you fall asleep, because you're really not asleep. You're just letting yourself go into an altered state that makes you more open to what comes next. Let's take a deep breath in preparation for Heaven's Cross. What we're coming to now is a destiny, is your destiny. But this destiny isn't scripted out by other beings somewhere else. This destiny isn't mandated by some god or gods. This destiny is not necessarily even part of any group effort. This is your destiny. This is something that you chose a long time ago, and you've continued to choose it over and over. The destiny of being here on the planet in the human form. It's almost like a coding that you gave yourself. That will guide you to here safely. That will guide you to this very point of Heaven's Cross. There was times when you almost did everything you could to stray away from that destiny or to avoid it, but that coding of energy brought you right back here. Right in line, ready for Heaven's Cross. And here we are. I ask you to feel into that chosen destiny of yours, going back thousands, tens of thousands of years, all the way back to the times of Atlantis. A chosen destiny. Nothing dictated to you from the outside, but one that you and your soul chose. Take a good deep breath. Your soul's destiny to be here. None of this was a mistake, although I know you've doubted it along the way, but none of it a mistake at all. There's a grace and a beauty to this. There's a deep richness to it. It was like you created the roadmap. More than anything, what would be the destination, which is here right now. And then you integrated it within you. And while your mind may not have remembered it, well, things may have happened along the way that you thought surely you'd get pulled off that path. It kept on guiding you to right here. This is your chosen destiny. That's why you're here. You weren't just lucky, and it wasn't because you were so smart. It was because you allowed yourself to come to this point. Feel into your destiny of being here right now. Imagine all the energies it took to get here. Imagine when there's times you doubted so much, when at times you wanted to leave the planet, at times you felt so very, very lost. Yet you had this coding of destiny within you that brought you here. Now comes the time for those of you who have been the realm workers now, particularly in this lifetime, particularly in the past 20, 30 years, you've been very busy in the other realms preparing. You see, it's not just the human that's here on the planet that can balance enough, that can do what's necessary for the apocalypse. It takes the human here, and it takes humans who are here but yet working in the other realms with the angelic beings now. You see, if it was just the human here, they would try to punch through this veil. I would try to break down the wall, and it would never work. They keep punching and trying to break it down, and to no avail. It takes the balance in the other realms as well. You could kind of say a mutual agreement between the heaven of earth and the heaven of the other realms. It's taken Jambra, who have crossed over in this lifetime, Sart, Edith, FM, many others, crossed over to assist with the work in the other realms. It takes both sides to create this opening. Many of you have been the realm workers, helping to prepare, helping to work with these magnetic grids that were brought to the planet, that were adjusted carefully by the Cryon. And it takes the realm workers in the other realms to do their work in preparing. That and all the preparing you've been doing, all the hard work, all of the overcoming the challenges of being in human limitation. It's taken all of that to make this possible. But to the realm workers now, to all the realm workers out there, soon it'll be time to come back. Come back into this lifetime fully. So much of your time has been spent in the other realms, so often not taking care of your physical body, not allowing into your mind, not allowing your creativity to come forth, or the expression of your human self to come forth, because you've been focused in the other realms. But now it's going to be time to come back. Your work is going to be done. A lot of it done on March 22nd. Some will continue on through the early part of summer, but prepare to come back now, to be here on the planet, to celebrate with those Shambra and others who haven't been doing the realm work. They've been doing the work here. To celebrate with them and to enjoy your life now. To breathe in the rewards for all the work you've done. It's been done quietly, without acknowledgement from other humans. You've often wondered why your life was like this, why you felt you should be doing something grand, but yet on a human level, you didn't think you were. Feel into it. You've been doing a lot, and it has been very grand. And now it's going to be time to come back here. Bring your light body with you. Bring your Nost with you. Bring the satisfaction of what you've been doing in the other realms with you. You might not remember right now. You might be wondering, what have I been doing? But bring it back with you. You'll you'll remember. You'll know exactly what you've done. Those of you who have been doing the work here on the planet, whether it's things like being part of the Crimson Circle, doing translations, doing the websites on the staff, whether you're simply helping to support all the energies, that work that you've been doing now is paying off. There'll be other work ahead, but it'll be a different type of work. Instead of laying the bricks and the paved stones for the pathway, for the way, now you'll be able to travel that path, enjoy that path. You'll be able to look back along the path that you've helped to build for the others and realize it's truly a golden road. You'll be able to look forward on that path and realize that going forward, it's not a path of suffering and hardship, not a path of challenges and forgetting who you were. Now it's a path that leads into living this life as an abundant master, as a healthy master, and as a very, very wise master. There'll be challenges yet because you're still living in mass consciousness, but you'll realize they're not yours. There'll be people that come along that can be very demanding, very annoying, but you realize that, well, you came from that. You understand that. You have tremendous empathy and understanding. You'll be able to know exactly how to deal with them without you letting them feed on you. You'll know how to say no. You'll know how to shut the door to keep them out when you need your space, which you will need. For all of you who've stayed here on the planet, haven't been doing the realm work, acknowledge what you have been doing, even the work on yourself. But then now, let all of that work you've been doing on yourself, whether it's trying to lose weight, whether it's trying to be a nicer person, whether it's trying to be more spiritual, whether it's trying to smooth off the rough edges, be a better parent, be a better partner, no matter what it is, I ask you to let all of that go now. Let all of it go, especially the part about trying to be more spiritual, trying to be an embodied master. Let all of that go. There's no more work to do on it. There's no more work to do on it. Now it's all about allowing. It's about allowing everything that you have been doing, everything you've been working on. It's about allowing all that suffering, all the hardships, all the confusion. Let that go. Now it's simply about allowing. I know it creates quite a bit different life when you don't have those old challenges. You're not always working on something, but it is a life that you've dreamt about, and now it's here. Let's take a deep breath together. At this eve of the apocalypse, the dream of the Atlanteans, the time of awakening on the planet. Allow in a feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction for everything that you've done, helping to pave this path, first for yourself and then for others, helping to build the way and the way forward. Let yourself feel into that, all of this. Feeling into your own dark night of the soul, what you went through to get here. The others aren't going to have it nearly as interesting as what you've had it. But you know, this was your destiny, your chosen destiny to be here at this time, to pave that pathway, and then to walk it yourself. Take a deep breath in acknowledgement to your human self. And yes, you dove deep, deep, deep into this. So deep you forgot who you really were, but now, on heaven's cross, it opens up. Take a deep breath and allow into that. Each and every day between now and then, allow. Take a moment to feel the tremendous honor and respect from all who are gathered here at the Shoud today. All the grand entities that have come before Crimson Circle, have spoken before them, have attended the gatherings, all the members of the Crimson Council who have been working here with you on earth are now ready to depart, to turn it over to you. Now, as you feel into all of this, I want you to feel into your past lives. Oh, they're going through so much right now. You think that they've already lived their life. You think that that lifetime is gone. It's done. It's been had. It's not at all. It's really right in the present. It's right here. It's not a thing of the past. It's just a different expression of your soul. The difference is that you and only you in this lifetime are what Tobias called the designated ascendee. You in this lifetime of yours, is the one that was going to follow the way. That was going to be the one that truly focused on coming to realization. And as you did, all of them started to change. Imagine yourself right now in the center of a circle of all of your past lifetimes, perhaps 1,000, maybe more. They're honoring you for what you've done. And right now, they're going through realization, even though you might say, well, it's a past lifetime, and no, actually, all that changes. They're going through realization. They don't know what they're going through. They know something is changing in their life. They know the very fabric of what you would call time and gravity is shifting so that they're no longer in the past. They're right here. All of the gravitational forces that would have held in their story and held it tight from birth to death are changing. Gravity is releasing, so even the story of that past life is changing right now. Let yourself feel into this, because you've been their guide, their leader. You've been the angel that's visited them in their most difficult times, all the lifetimes. It was you from this present moment that went into the past, visited them, and just shined your light. You didn't tell them what to do. You didn't tell them they were right or wrong. You just visited them and brought them light. You were light from the present moment. It's been difficult in this lifetime because it's not only dealing with your own situation, your own life conditions, but you've been feeling them as well. Their struggles, their burdens, their weight upon your shoulders. It's time for that now to culminate. It's time for that now to integrate. Feel into each and every one of these past lives. Them feeling that something is changing that is beyond their comprehension at the moment. Something deep is shaking them up. It's simply you're allowing, and you're coming to this time of the apocalypse. That's what they're feeling. And what happens in this is they don't die. They might have, in the old story of their past lives, they might have died in battle, of old age, as a young child from disease. However they died, but now that old story goes away. They don't die. They integrate back into you and to the soul. And you could say, well, if you knew the past lifetime, you could go visit the grave, but that story changes. There's no death. There's no finality. They don't die and go off into the near-earth realms or back into the crystalline realms. They integrate back into the soul. That's what's happening right now with each and every one of them. It's a change in their stories. It's a change in not their experiences, but the perception of their experience, the wisdom, and even their old stories, the ones that were being acted out into the other realms, even their old stories start changing. If you feel into it, there's an amazement in all that happens. You start to realize that nothing is cast in stone. There's even things you did in this lifetime or you thought were done and over with, or just done and still lingering, all that can change. It's been hard to do it up to now, but with Heaven's Cross, it's so much easier. Stories change, perceptions change, and what happens is all of these old lingering issues, all these seemingly never-ending stories, all the trauma, all the wounds now, they're brought to wisdom. They're brought to wisdom. You see, even things that were in past lives, that past life held on to so much guilt or shame that caused them to hold it, or simply because they felt they had to keep working on a solution even after what they thought was their death. It all changes. They start giving everything up to wisdom of the soul. They stop struggling with it. They stop tormenting themselves. They stop hanging on to it. They stop hiding it. And just like we're going to do in a moment, they release it to the sanctity of their soul, to the wisdom that comes with the soul. That's what they're doing right now as we come to this time of Heaven's Cross. All those unfinished stories, all those old wounds, all those traumas and the doubts and the fears that they bring, your past lives are giving these up to the soul. You see, they're learning that it's not the human that actually can handle these things. It's not the human that can truly transform them, the human can try to counsel and heal. The human can try to smooth out the rough edges. The human can try to bring things to conclusion, have resolution, but they really can't. It's ultimately the soul and all of its wisdom that does it. It's only when the human lets those things go, gives them unto the soul for the cleansing and for the wisdomizing. You've tried so hard, so often to heal, and a lot of it involved a lot of makio, and it just doesn't work. I'm now here before the apocalypse, 18 days from now. How about you, the human, right now, do that? How about we all do that together? Feel into this lifetime and all you've gone through, and what a story. Or I should say, what a lot of stories. I think it's now time to release all of that. Every wound that you have, every doubt that you have, every broken heart, every feeling of guilt or shame, every questioning, did you do it right? Every bad score, bad mark you've ever given yourself, every feeling of failure, every feeling of being small, and all that. Lack of self-worth. You're human, you aren't going to solve it. You can play with it as you do. And you know what happens? It just creates stories that goes off into the other realms, and sometimes continually, almost endlessly. Because all this time you've been being called by the soul just to release it, so that the cleansing and the result of the cleansing, the wisdom, can come. You might ask, well, why haven't we just done that? If it's so easy, why haven't we done it? It's because you wanted to continue playing with the story. You wanted to continue feeling what it was like to feel wrong, bad, dark, unworthy. You wanted to hold on to it for the experience, for the depth, for whatever reason, but now you can't go through heaven's cross still holding those things. So let's release them. All of it. Your soul is here right now. It's not in some other far off place. It never has been. It's here right now. It's always been ready, always available for you to let it go. That's all it took. Oh, that's all it took. I can hear some of you saying, well, Damas, it can't be that easy. It is. I ask now that you release it, you let it go. You don't even have to know what it is, you just release it. The hurts and the wounds and the anger, the feeling of done something wrong, you can't correct it in your mind, you know that already. But you can release it. And the soul has been waiting, your spirit, the I am, whatever you want to call it, it has been waiting for this, for you to say, I release. I let these things be cleansed. I release them so that they can finally go to wisdom. No good comes from holding on to these things. You're not going to learn anything more. You won't achieve a human level of wisdom by holding on to them. No good comes from it. You just continue carrying the burdens and creating a path forward of even more and more hardship and difficulty. Now, as we come to Heaven's Cross, I implore each and every one of you to release these things, whatever it is. You don't even have to know. All you have to do is allow the release. And let your soul take it from there. Let the soul cleanse it and bring it to wisdom. No, you don't have to keep carrying it, thinking that you must retain these records of what's right and wrong, what you did good and bad. You don't need to do that. Take a good deep breath right now. Feel the presence of your soul. It's right there. Your divinity. Your divinity is the thing between every thought, every memory. It's the thing between every experience that you've had. It's always been there. And now the gravity is lifting so that you can feel it. Now you can release to it. Take a good deep breath. Now comes the time of the apocalypse. And it comes the time of releasing to your soul. Stop hiding it, guarding it, hanging on to it, thinking that you have to learn from it, that you have to carry this burden so you don't do human wrong things anymore. It's time to release it to your soul. And let the soul take it from there. Let the soul cleanse it and bring it to wisdom, and then give it back to you as your divinity. As your divinity. As you walk on the earth as an embodied master, let these things that you've held on to, your grief and your agony and your pain, even your human physical condition, your body, let go of it. Give it unto your soul for cleansing and wisdom. And now, with the apocalypse, what happens is then the soul gives that right back as divinity, as a remembering your divine nature, as a remembering of parts that were long, long forgotten. Don't struggle anymore with trying to fix things. Don't carry the burdens anymore. I mean this literally. I mean everything. Even if you think you have far, far too much junk, darkness, badness, doesn't matter. The soul can handle it. Let's take a deep breath together. At this time of the apocalypse, please give it all unto the soul. The human cannot repair or fix it. The human just simply turns it into another story that's lived out in the other realms without conclusion, without resolution. The same thing is happening right now to all of your past lives. As you release, they release. As you give unto your soul all of the perceptions of wrong and bad and wounds and being weak, As you do this, they do this as well. Oh, you can just feel all of those old stuck energies being released to the soul, cleansed and brought to wisdom. And then given back to each and every lifetime as divinity, given back to you as the most special of all light. You don't have to think about it, work on it. You don't have to go through all the details of your life. It is right now just about releasing these things to your soul. And then allowing yourself back the gift of this light of your divinity into this lifetime. It couldn't come in. It couldn't be here if you were still holding on tight to all of these old things. Let's take a moment just for releasing. Here on the eve of the apocalypse, for releasing. Don't worry about specifically what you're releasing. I feel some of you trying to go through the laundry list in your mind, that long list. Don't worry about it. Just release. Be willing to release right now all of that old stuff. Anything that is not in harmony with your true light, that is still within your body or your mind, let it be released right now. Give it unto your soul. It is the greatest thing you can do for yourself and all of your past lives in this moment. I release. I release all things that are not in light, that are not in harmony, that are not in joy in my life. I release. I give it to you, soul. I turn these things over to you. I know that you know what to do because you're my soul. I give these unto you. And then wait. Wait quietly and patiently. You start to feel that stream of light and divinity to come in from March 22nd on into your life. It's everything you've ever experienced, ever done, all the things that your past life have experienced and done now, coming back from the wisdom of the soul, now coming back to you as divinity. So dear Shaumbra, all over the world, as we come to this time of the apocalypse, as we are on the eve of the apocalypse, I ask that each day you allow, and as you allow, release. Take a moment or two each day. Come back, listen to this shout again. Allow yourself to release all of these things. Allow back the divinity. The apocalypse isn't a global event, it's a personal event. It will have its effect on the planet in times to come, but right now it's a deeply personal thing. If you're looking for the implications, you're looking for the proof, you're looking for the change, don't look out there. Look right here. That's where it's happening. And it happens When you release, give all things unto your soul and let it return with the light of your divine nature on this planet. Let's take a deep breath together. A deep breath together. At this time that has long been prophesied and is now here. Is it real? Give it a try. With that, remember that all is well in all of creation. I am Adamus of Saint Germain. Thank you.
And with that, please allow yourself to be with the good deep breath, that good deep breath of life. Breathe and allow. Let this experience be with you. Take that good deep breath, feeling for this soul of you, all this release that you do in honor of ourselves. Be with the good deep breath. Be with that good deep breath. Breathe with love of self. Thank you for being a part of this Alt Shoud. Thank you.